accompanied by the musical stylings of Perrin Robinson. My committee is any member of the troupe and may make changes that he wants to at any point. So, let's enjoy this next drama.
All right, time to write this. Typewriter, haven't used one of these in ages. They said it helps me write stories better, so I'm going for it. Once upon a time, in the land of Greenville, lived a happy student named Jordan McKinsey. However, his happiness only lasted so long because when he was 12, he lost his right leg and he was forced to crawl all over the place. But with the help of his best friend, Sheridan, they got along all right. Now, one day, at the cafeteria, Jordan was reaching for a pork chop when the lady who was serving the pork chop, who actually turned out to be Dave Burns. He was no lady. He decided that he had handed out enough pork chops for the day, and so he refused to give Jordan a pork chop. Upon hearing this, Wes Bridges stumbled onto the scene and demanded that Dave give Jordan a pork chop. Upon hearing this, Nathan Ondersek stumbled onto the scene and suggested that he could help Jordan by getting enough pork chops to build a pork chop leg for Jordan. David was intrigued at this suggestion, and so he called his boss, Sarah Beth Myers. Sarah Beth was in the middle of eating 119 donuts. Right as she was about to take a bite out of the 79th one, she decided, no, never mind, backspace. Sarah Beth isn't in the scene yet. Oh, what am I thinking? David called his boss bosses, Lauren and Katie. Lauren and Katie were making spaghetti. Lauren and Katie walked over to where David Burns was and asked, what was the shenanigans that were happening in the cafeteria? David immediately explained, well, we're trying to build a pork chop leg for Jordan McKinsey. Jordan McKinsey said, wait, I must call my doctor, Caleb R. So Caleb R answered the phone and said, pork chop leg? That's genius, but let me check my doctor, Mike R. And so Mike R answered the phone and said, well, as long as they're made by Sodexo, I guess that's all right. Then Caleb called Dave Burns back and said, well, as long as they're made by Sodexo, Mike Arb is fine with it. And so Dave said, well, as long as they're made by Sodexo, we will attempt to build a leg for Jordan McKinsey. And that is when Kristen Morgan came back from Africa and stumbled onto the scene. Kristen said, guys, I just came back from Africa. We do this all the time out there. So let me show you how it's done. But first, I need the help of Sarah Beth Myers. And so she quickly whispered into Sarah's ear instructions how to build a pork chop leg. And so together they turned around and walked over to Jordan and Sheridan and said, first we need pork chops. And Jake said, right guys, here they are, I have the pork chops. And so he gave them pork chops. And then Kristen said, I can do this myself with Sarah Beth, but it would be best if everyone chipped in. So Dave called Caleb Barb, his doctor, and Caleb came just for the surgery. Caleb called his boss, Michael R., and he came just for the surgery. And then Lauren and Katie dropped what they were doing, spaghetti all over the floor. But it was nothing to us at Exo, so they just left it there, and they walked over, and together they built a pork chop leg for Jordan McKenzie. After 10 hours of surgery, they looked back at what their work looks like. And that is what Caleb Barb said. I've never, ever, 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 Mike, have you ever seen a leg so finely constructed as this? Together they all agreed, nodded, and waved at each other for no reason.